Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of the pointless things, where we flying by his pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Xanis Flameweaver, and Xanis Flameweaver is a Tauren shaman located on the Spirit Rise in Thunderbluff. And Xanis has been doing nothing for quite some time now because his purpose was actually removed back in Cataclysm. And so back in classic World of Warcraft, Xanis was the shaman that gave you your Call of Fire, Call of Water, and Call of Air quests to acquire your Fire Totem, Water Totem, and Air Totem. And so he'd send you to Prate Cloudseer, Easlin Waterseer, and Cranelfis, which honestly, that's got to be one of the worst names in World of Warcraft. But you know what? I should make a pointless top 10 worst names in World of Warcraft now that I think about it. And so yeah, back to Xanis Flameweaver. After they removed the totem quest, he pretty much just lost his purpose. And so he just used to be this wise shaman sitting by a pole, and now he's still a wise shaman sitting by a pole, but now nobody really knows. Like, if somebody started playing the game today, they'd be like, who's this guy? He just sits there. He doesn't have any quests, but little did they know, he used to. And that's why Xanis Flameweaver is number 10. 9. Number 9 is Brum Winterhoof, and Brum Winterhoof is a Tauren leatherworking trainer located in the Arathi Highlands. And I always remember seeing him when I'd be in the Arathi Highlands for whatever reason, questing or what have you, and he would always just be by his campfire, and he looked like he was having a chill time. And when you'd talk to him, he'd say, "The spirits told me you would come, that you would seek me for some reason, but that even you may not know that reason. So, do you know why you are here?" And it turned out that his big thing was elemental leatherworking. So if you were a leather worker, you could specialize in elemental leatherworking, and he'd be the one that you went to. And so you'd go to become an elemental leatherworker, and he'd talk about how elemental leatherworking required patience and dedication, and how you needed to have the elements actually accept you. But then the Cataclysm hit, and in addition to destroying numerous parts of Azeroth, it also destroyed elemental leatherworking. And so this guy is now just a basic leatherworking trainer in the middle of Arathi Highlands. And you gotta feel bad for him, because like, he loved elemental leatherworking. He was like, you need to get in tune with the elements, right? This is like about patience and dedication. This is like if he studied to become a neurologist or something, and then they just like sent them back to practice generalized medicine. I feel bad for him. Like, he's just here, probably just depressed. And so yeah, he still kind of has a purpose, but not the one that he wants. And so that's why Brum Winterhoof is number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Blastbolt brothers, and the Blastbolt brothers are Bezel and Basil Blastbolt, located at the Argent Tournament in Icecrown. And when you talk to Bezel Blastbolt, he says, "No one builds it faster, cheaper, and better than the Blastbolt brothers." And these goblins were hired to help construct the Crusaders Coliseum in Icecrown, but after it was completed, they no longer had a job, and now they just hang out at this bar outside the Coliseum, getting drunk. And funnily enough, they both used to have daily quests back in Wrath of the Lich King when the Argent Tournament was more relevant. And one of them was to get 12 rough-hewn planks, and he would be like, "Go to Crystal Song Forest and just chop some trees down, because we need wood." And after you got all the wood, he was like, "Excellent planks, and a good price, too. Those Argent Crusade sticks in the mud will never know. They'll get their precious Coliseum, and I'll get my early completion bonus. Now that's a win-win." And the other was to get 15 small stone blocks, and he was like, "Getting stone for this has been a nightmare. There are tons of stones available from the ruins in safe places, but those holier-than-thou paladins won't go for it. Something about priceless artifacts." And so for the quest, he has you go and collect crumbling Titan ruins in the footsteps at the Inventor's Library in the Storm Peaks. And he's like, "Hey, just don't go blabbing to those Crusaders about where you got this from, all right? I'm sure they'll get upset, but hey, it's not like the Titans have come back for them." And so yeah, the Blastbolt brothers don't really have a purpose now, but out of all the NPCs on the list, I feel like they're having one of the best times without their purpose. They're just like drinking, being like, "Hey, you know what? We made money." And so that's why the Blastbolt brothers are number 8. 7. Number 7 is Renaz, and Renaz is a forest troll located in Reventusk Village in the Hinterlands. And so back before the Cataclysm, he actually appeared to be a jungle troll like you'd find in Stranglethorn, and he sold ammo. So he sold quivers and arrows, and that was his purpose. He was an ammo vendor. But then when the Cataclysm hit, they gutted him. In fact, the patch notes here say, "Model updated from jungle troll to that of a forest troll, no longer has ammunition vendor, and no longer sells ammo." So they changed what he looks like, they got rid of his purpose, and now he just stands here. I mean, come on, man. They even ruined his shoulder pad. Look at that. His old shoulder pad used to be cool. It was kind of like a Koopa shell. Like, it had all the spikes on it, and it was just really neat. Now he's just got like some metal-ass piece of metal. And so, yeah, I just feel bad for this guy because, like, he used to just sell ammo. He probably enjoyed doing it. He's like, hey, I'm just having a good time. And then they completely gutted him. And now he just has no purpose. Like, he just stands here and he doesn't even look as cool. So that's why Renaz is number 7. 6. Number 6 is Ember Strife, and Ember Strife is an ancient black drake located in a cave in the Worm Bog in Dustwallow Marsh. And so he was the gatekeeper of Nefarian, and his whole purpose was pretty much to test whether you were worthy of ascending to the rank of Elite Guard to Onyxia. And obviously this was our way of going and fighting Onyxia, which was all part of the Onyxia attunement chain. And it was a bit different for the Horde and Alliance, so the Alliance would have to put an item on the floor. They would have to then fight Ember Strife and get him to low HP, and then mind control him and have him breathe fire on the item. Meanwhile, the Horde would just make a black dragon costume and talk to Ember Strife, and then he would just be like, go kill some dragons, and then he'd be like, go kill some more dragons. And that was pretty much it. And so, yeah, obviously the Onyxia attunement chain got removed from the game, and now he's just a dragon in a cave, and that's really it. There's no purpose to him anymore. In fact, there's speculation that story-wise, it's possible that he's dead, but listen, it's Blizzard lore, so I have no idea. Either way, to me, he's just a dragon in a cave that lost his purpose, and so that's why Ember Strife is number 6. 5. Number 5 is Kita Arrowtusk, and Kita Arrowtusk is a jungle troll quest giver found at Senjin Village in Duratar, and he was at Razor Hill for a little bit. And so he was mainly relevant during the Battlefield Barons, which occurred in Mista Pandaria, and he had 3 quests called the Darkspear Rebellion, Vol'jin of the Darkspear, and the Battlefield Barons, which was a weekly quest where you had to collect Kor'kron lumber, oil, meat, and stone. And so the Battlefield Barons, if you didn't know, is a world event that took place in the Barons, and it involved the conflict between Garrosh Hellscream and the Kor'kron, fighting against the rebellious forces of Vol'jin's Darkspear Rebellion. However, after patch 5.4, all of the related quests, quartermasters, and many of the NPCs were removed from the game, but Kita Arrowtusk remains in the game. And so, yeah, he's just kind of here. He doesn't do anything. He just stands around. You would think he'd be of some sort of use. Like, this was one of the guys that was, like, communicating with Vol'jin, you know what I mean? Like, he was a higher-up troll. I don't know, maybe he's really cool at seeing visions or doing voodoo stuff or something. But I guess we'll never know, because he just stands around unless Blizzard decides to give him a purpose at some point. So that's why Kita Arrowtusk is number 5. 4. Number 4 is Aj Tordeen, and Aj Tordeen is a highborn night elf located at Laris Pavilion in Feralis. And so back in the day, he used to give a quest called Pusselin and the Elder Aj Tordeen, and he said, I had let my guard down for only one moment, stranger, and in my haste to escape the grip of the fallen prince, I was robbed. A most foul demon, the imp Pusselin, pilfered my book of incantations and the key to the once great halls of Eldra Thalas. I no longer hold interest in the key, as I have exchanged my immortality for freedom, but I desperately need my book of incantations. And so you would go and complete that quest, and he would give you the choice between spry boots and a sprinter's sword, as well as some gold and 500 rep with the Shendralar. Now, the big thing here is that the rep grind for the Shendralar rep was terrible. Like, you only had this quest, and then you could, like, turn in some tomes, like the tome that would give you the Royal Seal of Eldra Thalas trinket, and you needed various materials like large brilliant shards or pristine black diamonds, and it was just terrible. And so in the Cataclysm, they removed the Shendralar faction from the game, and now Aj Tordeen just sits here with his hands like in his robe, or I don't know, they're like glitching through his robe, and he just looks bored and sad. So I actually feel real bad for him. Like, he used to have his purpose. Now he just sits here doing nothing, I guess. And so that's why Aj Tordeen is number 4. 3. Number 3 is Rokaro, and Rokaro is a champion of the Horde located at Shadowprey Village in Desolus. And Rokaro is actually a really weird NPC. So he was pretty much put into the game to take Rexar's place for the Onyxia attunement chain, because Rexar had to go help with the invasion of Outland. But prior to that, Rexar used to walk around Desolus, and you would have to go find him, and it was always really annoying because he would just wander all over the zone. But then, after the Onyxia attunement chain was removed from the game, he lost his purpose, which was a purpose to replace someone else's purpose. It also says here that despite appearing as a rogue, Rokaro has warrior abilities like Cleave and Puncture, just like Rexar had. And so, yeah, now he's just some orc that stands in Shadowprey Village in Desolus, and when you talk to him, he's just like, well met. I am Rokaro. Which also seems kind of crazy, because this dude is literally a champion of the Horde. Like, that's in his name. Rokaro, champion of the Horde. You would think we would need more champions of the Horde to defend against literally any of the dangers attacking Azeroth. But what do I know? Either way, that's why Rokaro is number 3. 2. Number 2 is Komar Villard, and Komar Villard is a human found near the Thandal Span in the northern wetlands. And so this one's actually pretty messed up. So Komar is wandering the wetlands for any signs of his wife because she's gone missing and he's just looking for any sign of her. Meanwhile, in the Undercity, you have the Forsaken Karendon Halgar and Godric Farsan, and they want to get the heart of a man of goodness and honor because they say that a succubus cannot be brought into our world without a stimulus. The succubus will be unable to resist the good, pure heart, and then you can dominate it and make it your own. And so yeah, this NPC's sole purpose is to wander around looking for his lost wife, and then for the Horde Warlocks to be like, yo, that guy's got a really loyal, pure heart. Let's go kill him so we can summon a succubus, and then you can have your succubus, and that's it. However, that quest was removed in the Cataclysm, so Komar Villard doesn't have to die anymore for being a good person. He can just wander around the wetlands trying to find his wife, experiencing sadness, anxiety, and loneliness. So great for him. And so yeah, I put this guy really high up on the list because even though he lost his purpose was actually terrible. So now he doesn't have to get killed for his heart, but he still has to wander around the wetlands looking for his wife, experiencing like depression and sadness. So he's really in a lose-lose situation, and that's why Komar Villard is number 2. 1. And number 1 is Orchaos the Insane, and Orchaos the Insane is a nether draconid patrolling a floating island on the southeastern edge of Netherwing Ledge in the Shadow Moon Valley. And so originally, Toranaku, the nether dragon, was supposed to give you a quest to kill Orchaos upon a player reaching Exalted with Netherwing in order for him or her to obtain a nether drake mount. But the idea was replaced with the quest Lord Illidan's Stormrage, and so Orchaos was essentially deemed useless. And so I feel especially bad for this guy because he got promised so much, you know what I mean? They're like, you're gonna be the last step in this Exalted Netherwing Drake Mount quest thing, right? Like, people are gonna fight you to get their Netherwing Drake Mount, you're gonna be awesome. People are gonna look back on this and be like, man, remember when we had to fight Orchaos the Insane to get our Netherwing Drake Mounts? That was pretty crazy. He would just walk around twirling his hammer, waiting for somebody to fight. And then they were just like, actually, never mind. We'll do something else. It's like, come on, man, at least remove him from the game. That's probably why he went insane. You know, he had to stand on this island for years and years thinking he was part of an Exalted questline, and he's actually just completely useless. In fact, he doesn't even drop loot. So either way, that's why Orchaos the Insane is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you go watch NPCs carrying stuff, or you can check out the 6+ hour cozy, relaxing Pointless Top 10 compilation I made if you want something to put on your second monitor or to fall asleep to. Also, like the video and comment below your favorite NPC that lost their purpose. Okay? Okay. See ya.